So my next question, it kind of ties into my first question, right? When you visit a high school campus for practice or even a game, what are the first things that you look for with the players' on-court body language, behavior, demeanor? Well, what are you looking for? I know you touched on some of this earlier, but just again, like when you're at practice and games, what are you looking for? What stands?
Talking and walking, talking and walking, talking and walking. Before we get to the skills, before we get to gameplay, it's talking and walking. You know what I mean? If I come in the gym and you the quietest kid in the gym, we got a problem. If I come in the gym and you constantly walking through drills or, your sprints aren't looking like sprints, you're constantly last, walking after drills, walking from in two lines, I already, especially if you know I'm there, right? If you know a college coach is there, or you've reached out to me, or you've been on my line, and you've talked to my staff, and you're interested in Musa or any college at that point. That's just that's one of the things that I'm going to look at first and foremost: talking and walking. You know what I mean? Talking and walking. You need to be talking, and you don't need to be walking. You need to be doing both of those things when any college recruiter walks in the gym.
It's amazing you say that. Not just when they in the gym, all the time because you never know who's in the gym.
Absolutely.
And like we was at our tournament yesterday as an eighth grader, him and his coach got into it and he went down to the end of the bench and was turned away from the team and the game and whatnot. And so, I said, Coach, you mind if I drop him a line? He's like, man, please do. And I said, young fella, you in the eighth grade. I said, your next couple of years, it gets real. I said, if
Yeah.
somebody in the stands looking at you, they just walked out the gym. I said, go finish being a teammate. It's just one game, man. Kids don't understand that fact, Coach Blackwell. They just don't. Those little things, man, they're so vital.